every year around May and June, as the snow on the high passes starts to melt and the roads to the north starts to clear up, something shifts in the heart of every Indian biker. The calling of Ladakh takes over every thought in our brain. It's the ultimate dream of every Indian rider to visit Ladakh at least once in their lifetime on their favorite machine. But let's be honest, Ladakh is not just a scenic holiday vacation, it's a brutal physical and mental test for the rider as well as the machine. Now look at the bike standing next to me. It is the Royal Enfield Hunter 350. It is engineered to hunt the concrete jungles of the city. It looks sharp and it has quick steering geometry and it rolls on 17-inch alloy wheels. By every textbook definition, it's a perfect roadster for the city. So when you tell people you are planning the ride of your life to the roof of the world, on a street commuter, you get a lot of doubtful looks. Everyone starts telling you that you really need an adventure rider or a touring motorcycle to complete the Ladakh circuit. But here is the actual reality. I have spent over 40,000 kilometers on the saddle of this J series engine since 2022 when I first bought it. And I have also completed Ladakh circuit on this bike. From Agra to Ladakh tour, I have been to highest motorable passes, to the grueling, breathless Umling and also the riverbeds and every part of Ladakh on this bike. So my friend, I am here to give you the raw experience of my life, also the authentic review of this purely roadster machine. We are going to discuss exactly how this engine behaves when oxygen drops at dangerous levels on Umling, how the suspension of this old 2022 model is real pain. You will get backache during your 7-hour riding day. And also the side mirrors, not a single vehicle is clearly visible when you are riding above 70 km per hour. And I am going to give you all the practical solutions of all the problems that you have with the 2022 Royal Enfield Hunter 350. So grab a cup of chai or coffee, whatever you prefer, and let's talk about real motorcycling. Let's first talk about the open highways before the mountains even begin. The 349cc J series air-cooled engine is beautiful, characterful and a single cylinder motor. If your riding style is calm and you keep the speed between 70 to 90 km per hour, this bike feels home. At these speeds, engine remains calm and the chassis stays completely settled. You don't feel much vibrations and you can ride all day with a smiling face. But the moment you try to push it harder, the urban engineering limits of this bike show up. When you push this engine above 100 km per hour and try to maintain a cruising speed of 100 to 110 km per hour, it feels like this engine is doing too much work. It creates immense strain at high RPMs and the entire bike starts to buzz and the vibrations start crawling into the foot pegs and you feel that your handlebar is shaking up and the bike gives you a feeling that it is going to give up. But trust me, it is not. It will stubbornly hold that speed, but it will also generate a massive amount of engine heat and the loud vibration noises will mentally exhaust you. If you want the maximum performance of this air-cooled J series engine, my honest advice is to cruise between 70 to 90 km per hour. It will give you the maximum mileage of 30 to 35 km per liter. And trust me, if you really want to overtake a vehicle, this bike is quick and fast enough to do that easily. And in my brutally honest opinion, never ever ride alongside a big vehicle like a truck or a bus. Always keep a distance of at least 70 meter to 100 meter and never overtake in a blind spot. Always take your time, look ahead and see if there is any vehicle or any obstruction. And I don't think it is even even safe on Indian highways to ride above 100 km per hour, and on some highways it is not even legal. And 80 to 90 km per hour speed is safe, secure and easily controllable. So ride safe. This bike will never let you down when you try to overtake someone on an uphill highway. Please remember, never ever overtake in a turn on a highway in mountains. And another major issue on the highway is wind blast. And this Hunter 350 doesn't come with any windshield. And the heavy wind blast constantly hits your chest and it will physically drain you in less than 2 hours at the speed of 80 to 90 km per hour. To counter this, I use a brilliant zero-cost Jugaad. I rest my backpack directly in front of me, keeping it on the tank pad so it does not strain my shoulders with the heavy weight of the backpack. And it acts as a fantastic wind deflector, blocking the main air column perfectly. And I can ride smoothly without any wind blast hitting my chest. However, the wind blast will still find its way towards your head.
Now I have switched off the noise cancelling mode, and I will show you how deafening can be the wind noise at 70, 80 or even at 100 kmph. So you should always wear earplugs.
And this is why I want to remind you that never plan a very long ride without wearing a high quality helmet. You need to buy an aeronautically stable helmet which is specifically engineered to mute the sound of the wind blast. The constant high speed buffeting causes terrible vibrations inside a poorly constructed helmet, and trust me, it will give you severe neck pain by the evening. So please invest in an aerodynamically stable helmet and do yourself a massive favor. You can also buy a cheap foam-based earplugs to block that deafening wind roar. If your helmet is not aerodynamically designed, it can cause you tinnitus. It means that constant noise of more than 100 decibels can cause severe nerve damage inside your ear, and it turns into permanent noise-induced hearing loss. So please don't trade off your hearing with a cheap quality helmet. Now let's talk about what happens when you cross into the high altitudes of Ladakh, where the air gets thin. Above 14,000 feet, every fuel-injected engine loses around 30% of its power due to oxygen deprivation. You will absolutely feel less energy, less throttle response from your engine the higher you go. And finally, when you reach at the iconic Ladakh highways, where you find long stretches of roads and you naturally want to push the engine and enjoy the ride, you will feel the less power, but trust me, you can cross those highways easily on this bike. And the real magic of this J series engine is the high low end torque, which definitely will help you to climb those high treacherous Ladakh passes where most of the other motorbikes fail. And you can easily reach Khardungla, Umling and the latest highest motorable road at Migla. Let me share you a story. During my Ladakh ride, I met a fellow rider from Taiwan who was riding a BMW G310 GS, and we decided to swap the keys for an uphill ride. So after the test, we both reached a conclusion that Hunter 350 has a monstrous low end torque. So it sums up that you can take this bike to the highest passes in Ladakh and the treacherous roads of the riverbeds, and everywhere you can take this, it will not let you down. Now let's talk about chassis and handling of this bike, and trust me, this bike defies every expectation that you have. If you look at any adventure or tourer bike, it will have a 19 or 21 inch front wheel which naturally rolls over boulders, rocks or potholes very easily, and the 17-inch wheel of Hunter is exact opposite. It wants to drop into every pothole it finds. But trust me, during my Ladakh ride, I have been to most treacherous terrains, riverbeds where riding was very difficult, but this bike never let me down. Yeah, the low ground clearance and the 17-inch wheel do make you struggle a little. It can do a light off-roading, but if you want to go into very heavy off-road, this bike is not made for that. There was a fellow rider with his Dominar 400 and he slipped in the sand and fell and broke his ankle. And by the God's grace, I did not fall or even did not experience a single puncture into my entire 4,500 kilometer ride. If you have faith in this bike, if you are a good, calm rider, you can definitely complete the Ladakh with this 17-inch wheel without any problem. There is something beautiful about Hunter 350's compact size, its short wheelbase and compact steering angle. And when you are riding this bike, you will never feel that bike is overpowering you and going out of control. You will always be in 100% control of this bike. It is the magic of Hunter 350. The bike's outstanding balance and low end gravity always gives you confidence in the rough terrain and the highways. You always feel that bike is running with very high confidence. You will never lose faith during the ride. And yeah, if you are upgrading from a 100cc Splendor or any other bike, you will feel that this bike is totally controllable and it does not overpower you. You will love this bike. Go for it. But please remember, this is a roadster bike. This is not a sport bike. I have seen many painful accident videos on YouTube of Hunter 350 where a rider tries to aggressively lean on a corner like this is a sport racing bike. It is not. It will inevitably slip and crash, have a grievous injury. The foot peg placement of this bike and the chassis are not meant for aggressive leaning. So please ride safe. Now let's talk about the ergonomic realities of this bike and the quick fixes. If you are riding for 1 or 2 hours in a city, you will not feel any problem. But if you are on a very long ride, you will feel a lot of problems with this bike. First thing, the foot pegs of this Hunter 350 are very narrow and thin. When you are resting your entire body weight for hours on these thin rubber strips, it creates highly concentrated pressure points. After a few hours on the saddle, you feel like someone is pinching from beneath the sole of your shoe. The fix is incredibly cheap. You can get Meteor 350 or Himalayan 450's foot pegs. The wider platform of these foot pegs distributes the weight and reduces the pressure, and the painful foot ache vanishes instantly. And another flaw of this bike is when you are above 5'8" and you sit on this bike, you feel like handlebar sits a little bit too low and forward. The straightforward solution is to install a handlebar riser. But the problem with handlebar riser is that they tend to vibrate the handlebar a lot. Where you just bolt small metal blocks on top of each other, this split design creates loose interface, which transmits high frequency vibrations straight into your palm, leaving your hand completely numb. A handlebar riser, which is made by a single block of metal, always helps to keep the entire handlebar rigid and also helps to reduce the engine buzz perfectly, and it gives you a comfortable long ride by helping you to keep the upright posture. So if your handlebar is a little bit higher like this, you will have a comfortable riding posture. Instead of when I am leaning forward like this, it gives me a sporty stance, which is very good for a city ride. But on a long ride, it will surely give you lower back pain, shoulder pain and elbow pain. Another issue with the Hunter 350 that I felt on my long tour was the seating comfort. This seat of Hunter 350 has a noticeable forward slide. When I am on my long ride, I am constantly slipping forward like this, and you are constantly pulling yourself back again and again. On a long tour, it gives you pain. There's a much smarter, budget-friendly way to handle this. Just go to a local upholstery market, ask the seat technician to add extra high-density foam at the front part of the seat near the tank. This simple adjustment completely flattens out the seat profile, and it will give you a relief from just sliding forward and will definitely improve the comfort in your long ride. Now let's talk about the suspension reality of this bike in the older 2022 model. The springs of this rear suspension are not very good. They do not absorb the jhatka very well, and they just give you a real hard shock on your lower back. It is not good, and trust me, for a long ride, it is really uncomfortable. I would definitely say if you can spend 3 hours continuously on this saddle, you have bumps of steel, man. If you are going to plan your Ladakh journey on older Hunter 350s, please do not do that. Don't suffer like the way I did. Go straight to the Royal Enfield Service Center and get those newer Hunter 350 suspensions retrofitted in your older models and get a relief from the pain. On older models, you will cry. The cost of retrofitting both the suspension would be around 3,500 to 4,000 rupees. They are definitely to go and grab. Another major thing I want to point out, these are the stock side view mirrors of Hunter 350 and they vibrate a lot above 50 to 60 km per hour and nothing is visible above 70 km per hour. They vibrate a lot. On my last Himachal trip in a village, a kid accidentally crashed my parked Hunter 350 and I got a dent in my tank, and also the right hand side of rear view mirror was also broken. There was an option to change the mirrors and this one is the mirror of Himalayan 450. I got it for 450 rupees and this vibrates a lot less and it gives me a clear visibility. They will cost you around 900 rupees for both the side view mirrors. And one more thing I want to point out is that install this type of reflectors on your bike. When you are riding at night, the most important thing is visibility. So on the sides, on the back and on the front, install these reflectors. They will save your life. And one more thing I definitely want to suggest, that during May and June it gets real hot and the engines of this J series 350cc can get real hot and you need the tank pads to improve your comfort. And trust me, you need that comfort when you are riding for like 8 to 10 hours every day, and they will improve the grip when you are sitting on the bike here like this, and you will not slip forward and you will not hit the tank. On my last trip, I got both my inner thighs here burned up. So I got red marks. It is going to be a pain. So please go and get those tank pads. They are not very expensive. And one more thing I noticed, that the newer Hunter 350 have LED lights. LEDs don't give you a very good view during a fog situation. And LEDs are always much more pain in the eyes when you get those reflections in your eyes during the ride. And LEDs also do not brighten up as much as the halogen lights, and they are expensive to replace also. So when I look at my entire 4,500 kilometer mountain ride, highway ride and everything, I would say that for the entire trip I did not have a single mechanical breakdown, and this bike was ready to go anywhere I wanted, on any climb, on any river bed or anywhere. Other than heavy off-roading, this bike was ready for any challenge I gave it. So what is the final bottom line? This is a roadster, a city bike. By making few ergonomic changes, you can definitely make it a tourer and you will love the mountain rides on this bike. So try to understand its design boundaries and fix the minor factory flaws and it will take you to the roof of the world. So if you love this style of pure and honest motorcycle content without the fake internet drama, please hit the like button and let me know your thoughts and questions in the comments below. And please subscribe to the channel. It will mean a lot for me. And till then, ride safe and see you in the next video.